Hey, it's Tech. Welcome to Off the Cuff. Today I was driving to work and it's kind of a really crappy day outside. I don't know if you can see that at all, but the drivers around here are terrible and don't know how to drive in this weather, so there's lots of accidents and slowdowns, and I'm just basically sitting here doing nothing. So I figured I'd record this week's Off the Cuff as I'm driving and talk about the safety features in cars, the technology that keeps us safe in bad weather like this. Specifically, I want to talk about anti-lock brakes, all-wheel drive, and traction control, which are features that you can find on a lot of new vehicles. Anti-lock brakes is almost ubiquitous now on cars because it's so effective. As you're going, you have inertia. Your car has a lot of momentum because of its mass, because mass times speed. And as you go to brake, you can break the friction between your tires and the road. Normally, your tires are rolling, which they have rolling resistance, and that helps slow the vehicles down. But in terms of a linear connection between your tires and the road, your contact patch has a lot of linear friction. And sometimes, or usually, that exceeds the friction of the brake pads on the rotors, or the your shoes and your drums. And the big concern is that if your brakes grab more tightly than the tires can connect with the road, what'll happen is your wheels will stop turning and you'll start sliding, and that removes all of your control. So you want your wheels to always continue rolling, because when you're rolling, you have control. You can apply power, you can apply resistance, and as you start skidding, your frictional coefficient drops. So your static friction, which is what your contact patch normally has, is a lot higher. So you get a lot more resistance, a lot better braking power if it's static. So counterintuitively, the solution to prevent your wheels from locking up is to turn your brakes on and off really, really fast. So if you've ever been driving a car and had the ABS kick in, you'll feel it as this pulsating rhythm inside of your, like, through the brake pedal onto your thing. You might even hear it as a high-pitched vibration. This is basically because the onboard computer is sensing that the friction, the wheels are stopping way too fast. And so what it does is it starts applying the brakes really quickly and basically braking on, braking off, braking on, braking off, braking on, braking off. And in most cases, not all cases, it can be a detriment on occasion, but in most cases what this does is it allows the wheels to actually catch more of the road, because you don't break that static friction, and overall gives you better handling and control, as long as you don't freak out. Because your general impulse, I grew up without ABS, and so my first impulse is, if I start losing traction, is to start pumping the brakes, which is the wrong thing to do. And then when you feel that vibration, if you're not used to feeling it, you might freak out and take your foot off the brakes, which is, again, not the right thing to do. The best thing is just hold your foot steady on the pedal, let the computer do its work, because in 99.9% of the cases, it's going to be better than if you try and control it yourself in this case. You also need to learn how to steer and control in those conditions. They're not a catch-all, but in most wet, slippery conditions like slush or mud, ABS is really going to save you in this case. Along with that, talking about friction and wheels and what's going on in your car, I want to talk about all-wheel drive. Basically, in a conventional car, you have two wheels that are given the power, either your two front wheels or your two rear wheels, through your axle or your transaxle if it's a front-wheel drive. What you have is this transfer from your engine of power to the wheels, causing them to rotate. Now, your wheels don't have a fixed axle. You don't apply it equally directly to all the wheels. They have what's called a differential, and that differential allows all four of your wheels to spin independently. That's actually really important. As you make a turn, your outer wheels need to spin more than your inner wheels, and this is what the differential allows you to do. It compensates for improper or imbalanced tire pressure. But if you send power to all four wheels, what you can do is give all 4 of your wheels the control of adding power, so that if you lose power in any one of your wheels, you're not stuck. So if your back wheels start losing power, your front wheels probably still have traction. If if your right side starts losing power, then your left side probably still has traction. But the catch is, if you run into something where you're in a spinning situation where one of your wheels is spinning, because of these differentials, it actually, most of your power ends up going to that wheel. There's some gear science behind it, and I don't want to get into it right now because you need some diagrams and some, what's going on. Oh, someone's driven off the road back there. I'm stopped, by the way. I'm about what would normally be 3 minutes away from work, but I don't know if I'm going to get there in the next half hour or not. I hate driving in the winter. So with the differentials in a truck or in a high performance off-road, something that you really need to have that power, you can lock the differentials. When you lock the differentials, it basically makes it like a fixed axle, so that the inner and outer wheels all rotate at exactly the same speed. This makes sure that if one wheel is spinning, the power is distributed to the rest of the wheels. In a standard vehicle like the one that I'm driving, which is all-wheel drive with traction control, the other solution is traction control. Now, if you know the marketing behind it, what they tell you is that if you lose power in one wheel, it transfers the power to your other wheels. But how does it do that? How does it do that in a situation where you're dealing with these problems, this loss of power? Well, what it does is it applies your anti-lock brakes to the wheel that's spinning out. So your wheel starts spinning, and that's taking all of your engine's power. So if it starts applying the brakes to that wheel, it slows it down, and that slowing down engages the gear ratio and transfers the power back to the other wheels with traction. Oh geez, I'm getting a call. So I'm gonna break my rule about editing today. Sorry about that. My boss gave me a shout, basically saying like, "Hey, are you stuck in this crap too?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm stuck in this crap too." So I don't know. What was I talking about? I was talking about all-wheel drive? No, traction control, and how it stops your wheels from spinning, and how that's a good thing. Anyway, traction control, all-wheel drive, and ABS are some of those safety features that I find, if you're in an area like I am in the mountains where snow and winter driving conditions can be pretty horrible, or if you're in, Canada, it's something that I consider to be essential on a vehicle. They're really, really important safety features. If you can get them, that's really, really good. If you can learn how to use them, that's even better. The last safety feature is snow tires, which can be a huge benefit if you're in an area where the temperature drops below around, I think it's 5 degrees Celsius for all of the winter and doesn't really go above it. Switch out to snow tires. The traction with snow tires, their rubber is a lot softer, and it cuts through. Their tread designs are designed to cut through snow a little bit better, so they stick in colder weather, whereas your normal tire treads are going to get firm and you're going to lose traction. So snow tires with those other features are actually more beneficial. But if you don't have those other features, snow tires are like so important in inclement weather for protecting what you are and what you're doing. So anyway, that's my off the cuff for today. Sorry about the editing. I got a phone call. Do what I do. And until next time, I'm Tech Adams saying keep thinking, and thanks for watching, and drive safe. And why am I vlogging while I'm driving in this? This is stupid. Bye. And all of that slowdown was because people don't know how to climb a hill in inclement weather, you stupid freaking drivers. And naturally, immediately after filming that, I got to work where the parking lot is, not plowed, and I slid down a hill because of the unplowed and hit a rock. So whatever. I should not have come to work today. This is the lesson that we're learning.